Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. Everyone please rise. It's 10:07. You all would join me in prayer. Father God, we come to you thankful for this great land we live in. And we ask you to forgive us when we fall short of the plan you have for us. But Father, guide us. Help us as each of our local governments all the way through Washington, D.C. deliberate and try to do the will of the people. Let us keep in mind we are public servants. Let us keep in mind that we have many things that we have to review, consider, and look for your guidance and do our best to fulfill. We ask that you would bring us more rain. We appreciate the little sprinkle this morning, but much more is needed, and we know you're aware of that. Father, look over the men and women that serve us and keep this country safe. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Join me in the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas pledge, please.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take your seats, please. This time I do have one presentation to make. I'd like Mr. Ted Gregg and his wife Jane. Jane, you want to come forward? We're glad to have you here. It makes Ted look a lot better. I know, there's another one of us I should have said. That's just permission, sir. Anyone doubt what I just said?
No one.
Okay. By jury of your peers, I was one of his. Not yet. And now we are. Okay. All right. Certificate of appreciation. This certificate is presented to Teddy Gregg for 10 years of service in Wichita County. Congratulations on reaching your milestone service anniversary. Through your hard work, dedication, and loyalty, Wichita County is able to provide quality service to the citizens of Wichita County. In honor of your service, we are pleased to offer you a choice of anniversary awards. Please accept your gift as an expression of our gratitude and contribution you continue to make every day. On behalf of the Commissioners Court, we commend you for your service and with your every success as you continue your career toward your next milestone. Your commitment to Wichita County is deeply appreciated. And that's signed by Pat Norris and me, and we're the members of the court that worked with Ted in his office operation. But Ted's one of those great resources that also came to us from TxDOT. There's one or two more, but we'll reserve judgment on that until they retire. But it's great that we have, and that's what I love about our people talk about. We have Chevrolet Air Force, and we get a lot of great retired people that come into the Wichita Fall Court. So we have people coming out of the state. The background you had, we're glad to have you, Ted. Appreciate the enthusiasm and the heart you put into dealing with personnel, which is like one of the tougher issues because nothing ever stays the same. So let me present that to you. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming with us. Anything you want to say, Ted?
Sure. It's a great crowd.
Woody, what have you done?
Tell me how you feel in 15 seconds or less, man. I'll be brief. I just want to say thank you very much not only to the Commissioner's Court, to you, Judge, for the support and the friendship that I've had with you over this 10 years. But there's a good group here today that I have worked with and also appreciate your support. And you're exactly right. Most of the time that we do meet is on less than great circumstances. But thank you for your support and also thank you for your friendship.
Good.
Thank you.
Ted, I was surprised. I thought that it was 25 years instead of 10. That's great.
Seems like
No, I had it on mute. Yeah.
Commissioner, I didn't invite you to my 25th, and it's been up to 15 years.
all right.
Okay. Ask the court to take action on the consent agenda, please.
Judge, I've been through the consent agenda and move for approval.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Preston, second by Commissioner Lawler to approve the consent agenda. Any comments or questions on any of those items? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, we're on to item number 1 on general business, review and approve the emergency and regular bills for payment.
Judge, I reviewed the emergency and regular bills and move for approval.
I'll second that, Judge.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Norris, second by Commissioner Gonzalez to approve the emergency and regular bills for payment. Any questions on the bills? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 2 is to receive a major activity report from the Wichita County District Attorney's Drug Enforcement Division. Ms. Shelton?
Actually, Judge Greg Young, Cascade DA's office representative.
All right, very good, thank you.
It's my understanding that you all have a copy of the report there. A little bit, I don't know, do you have any questions?
Wish you had a 0 to the right of that $11,000. So, but no, it looks like great work. I was doing an interview earlier on this. Y'all have continued what started out as a program. It's solid. It's, to me, it's one of those things that has, you know, when you venture out in it, you never know. But the return on that, not only are you all doing things in that division to make things safer, but the follow-up with prosecution has been very good also. So it's going the full effort. I don't know whether we'll ever win the war on drugs, but if we don't fight, I know we won't. So thank you all for the effort there.
Thanks, Greg. Do you need a motion to approve?
Yes, sir, to accept that report into the
Yeah, I
minutes.
would make that motion.
I'll second.
Go ahead, Pat.
Motion by Commissioner Preston, second by Commissioner Norris to receive the District Attorney's Drug Enforcement Division report. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 3 is discuss, consider, or take action to adjust the salary of the Agriculture Extension Office's Secretary Receptionist position. Let me give the court some background. I gave you all some of that, but just to feed into what we're discussing this morning. This is the first time we've hired anybody in that position in 30 years. And I'm going to say we, and I'm going to really say me, probably didn't do the best job of communicating how that works. And so we had some misunderstandings. We posted the job at a 9A through C. There were some applications made for it. We then kind of rerouted and went with a temp service and had a good person that had applied for the other job at that level, came on and was a person selected and has stayed the 90 days as part of our working relationship with my staff, and that person has been offered the job. There was some question about the salary level as to which salary should be offered, and our agents have recommended that person be brought in at the 9J level, which is where the other person left at. That is contrary to what we normally bring a position in, and it was advertised originally at the 9A to C. And so that's why I put it on here to set it, because our general policy is those go back to that beginning position, but when budgeted, a department head or an office holder can come in and ask for consideration of the higher salary if they think the person merits that. Miranda or David, do you all have anything you want to offer on this?
Yes, Judge. And we discussed this at length, but just so that the commissioners are aware, when the secretary's position became apparent that it was going to be open, you told us we need to talk to Ted, and Ted would handle all that. And so we talked to Ted, and because I spent 20 years self-employed hiring people, it's my opinion that you want to pay as much as you can pay if you find a good qualified candidate. And if you don't, then you start low and you let them work their way up. And so we asked him, what is that range? And he told us the low range, but he said that the high range, I said, I want to know our top number for what we can do this at. And it was like $12.85, just a little less than $13 an hour. And so also, it was recommended by you and Mr. Gregg that we go do the hiring through my staff, and at that point, they would receive a flat salary rate through the 90-day probationary period, and at that time, if it looked like it was a good fit, then we could decide where we wanted to pay them. And after she'd been there for a week or two, told Mr. Gregg, she's doing great. We want to get her as high as we can, which was, in our mind, the $12.85. That was the number that we were told. When she asked us in the interview, what are we looking at? We said in a range from here to here. It depends on how it works out. So in our mind, it was presented at $12.85 or $87, somewhere in that range, and that's what we presented it to. Mr. Gregg also stated she would be a 90-day probationary period, and the week before she was due to be hired full-time, she made 3 efforts to contact the HR office. She contacted the HR office to say next week is when I would start. Never did get a return call from them. And then after that 90 days had already passed, they came back and said, okay, you're going to have to work longer. And that was not the way it was presented to us, so we didn't present it to her. So we feel like, as you said, there's been some issues there. You know, if I tell somebody I want to do something, I want to do it that way. And I feel like it was misrepresented to us, so we misrepresented it to her. I understand you can't expect somebody to come in at what the past secretary started at or left at, but I can tell you she is doing 3 times of what our past secretary was doing. If that was mismanagement somebody's part prior to that, I don't know. I don't really care. She's doing well of the job. We felt like it's important we pay her what we said we would pay.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, I've given you a document that shows the range of salary, shows some people who have been here longer than that are in positions. And one of my conflicts with this is we didn't advertise it other than 9A to C. And we might have had other people apply that had they known that and have done that. So, like I say, I feel like I probably should have taken a stronger first hand into this. Not necessarily that would have made the outcome any different, because by policy it would still have to come right here today to be considered at anything higher than the 9A to C, because that's our budget policy. I'd ask that.
Can I make
Yes, sir.
I think Miranda's got some comments, or you want me? I mean, there have been some other factors that have come into play on this thing too, and you know, there have been some comments, some questions on to her marital status, on her receiving death benefits, and how that impacts what she should be paid, and we think that's extremely inappropriate. And I was sitting there when they were made to her.
Well, yeah, I made those, because I was trying to find out if she had that, and because of the concerns she had and the things she expressed, all those play into it. Don't believe they were.
I don't think they do.
Well,
her marital status, or what her home life is, in our opinion, it should be based on what her abilities are and what she's proven to do. She's come to night meetings. She's been there at 7 in the morning if we needed her. As Mr. Gregg told me prior to us even interviewing people, he said, this is not your typical clerical position. There are a lot of added duties to that. And so he said, I understand that office, it's not fair to that person to pay them typical clerical pay when it's not a typical clerical job. And so it should be based on what her abilities are and what her dedication to the job is, in my opinion.
well, I'd say the statement you just made about not a typical clerical job would probably apply if you ask any given department head or office holder here to say whether people were typical or a wide variety of things. I think they're going to go for the latter. We probably got 500 special jobs here. Miranda, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I was going to emphasize on that Gina's life circumstances should not have ever come into play or into question in any kind of discussion about her pay range before, during, or after. It's really upset her. Kevin has been gone for 4 years, and it's brought all of those emotions back. And that's why she didn't come with us to court this morning. She didn't want to bring that emotion with her.
Let me clear the air on that somewhat. This is the first I've heard of that, and I can't speak for the other commissioners, but it's the very first I've heard of it.
I wasn't aware of it either.
I wasn't either.
It's, it makes no, it has no bearing on any decision I would make on this. But for heaven's sakes, do not lump the whole group of us together, because that's not correct. We knew nothing about it. In fact, it's a shock to me. Judge, I have, and I hope you guys take this as it is intended, but we normally start people at new folks as the flyer shows at whatever group it is, A, B, or C. If you want to start them in A and move them up to C. And then I took the final salary, the J, and that is moving that individual in front of some of our other people that do as much as or more with 10, 15 years of service. I really have qualms about, the judge makes a good point. You've got, you have 500 different jobs, if you would, I think was how he put it. And finally, I think that it's precedent setting to do anything else. Now, that's how I look at it, Dave, and I know that's not how you all look at it, but it happens in court quite often. But for heaven's sakes, never has anything else come up in regard to that. I did my homework on this, as I try to do on new employees. The question that I always ask Ted is, has he looked through does he recommend this employee at an A, B, or C? And if he's sent that thing in, of course he does agree with that. So that's kind of where I am, and I don't want you to think that I didn't know about this other.
Yes, sir.
That stated that we requested 9J was in my meeting that Gina and I had with the judge the week of July, prior to July the 4th, was when it was apparent that they were not going to stay with the number that we were told. I said, well, then if we got to play hardball, I want to sit across from somebody face to face and say, here's what we're going to do, and that's what we're going to do. If that's not the way we're going to play it, then I'm going to shoot for a higher number that we can end up in the middle. That's where the 9J comes from. I did not say we need to start her at 9J. I said, y'all said we're going to start her at 1285, so let's start her there. They said, we're not going to do it. Then he said, we're going to do what you recommend. I said, well, then we're going to shoot high so we can hope to end up where you told us we would be. That's where the 9J came from. Okay, and Dave, there are a lot of times that the Commissioner's Court is not totally in agreement with each other. Yes, and the judge, since that office is under him, he speaks for that office. Judge, I would make the motion. It might be premature to do that. That we start in compliance with the original fire at 9A, B, or C to hire this new employee, effective.
Well, it'd been she started actually on the payroll on Monday.
Effective last Monday. I would make that motion.
I'll second that, Judge.
If I may, I have a copy of an email that came from Judge Gossam where he suggested that she be started at a 9H with a, I guess with a review, and then bumped up again after 3 months, as long as we can provide justification. Have y'all seen that?
It doesn't make any difference whether I've seen it or not. I'm not voting the way the judge has presented. I'm voting policy of the county.
Any other comments on question on the motion by Commissioner Preston, second by Commissioner Gonzalez, to have that position in the 9A to C? I did tell them, and that was my recommendation. That's what I sent to everybody. That's why you all got a copy of it. You know, I feel like she's done you a good job. That position does have some demands on it, not particularly those beyond, but and once again back to probably the fact that the supervising members of the court need to, on the personnel of things dealing with that individual being a county employee but serving you all, we probably need to stay a little closer on that, and will do that. Okay.
I guess the question I would have, Judge, is then where do you go from here? If you start and approve the 9C, do you still leave the door open for advancements in X number of days? Or?
Well, the motion didn't cover that. The motion says 9C.
But it would be open to just regular county policy, and the policy is that you can revisit it.
You can, and you have the budgeted amount to that. Ms. Shelton's office furnished us an opinion some time back on where it used to be we had people had to come and ask for that approval to do that. It's in their budget, so they have the position. Now, it's in our budget policy that, you know, it should be the 9A to C, and most people come back and ask when they have a particularly, especially if somebody goes from one county office to another that has a lot of experience and is familiar, then that sometimes is considered in that, and they'll have a period of time that's raised over, and that's not an unusual thing. We've had that come about. But those are approved in individual orders by the court.
And 9J is budgeted in the extension budget for this year, is that correct?
That's correct.
The only problem I've got with it has nothing to do with the individual, but it's the other 9 other employees that we pulled out of this thing. One of them was 17 years experience that this kind of leaves in the dust, and it's I hate it that we got off to this misunderstanding or bad information or whatever it is, but so the system would be open to try to do some adjusting as we move forward.
It could always be brought back to the court. Yeah. Now, it's going to depend on what happens in the 2015 budget process, which if that's lowered from the 9J, then it could be brought back down, which would have an effect on changing that position. But it could come down to, you know, at 12HG, you know, level, 9.
But I would suspect that the budget you guys submitted was back, would be the status quo of the 9J. I don't have it in front of me, but I would assume there wouldn't be any reason to have changed that in your budget request.
I'm not familiar with the steps and letters.
Yeah.
Since we are not
It is confusing.
on that.
Okay.
But it was it'd be the money level, not necessarily the step, and I would assume that would have been in that request because there wouldn't have been any reason to change it.
Well, I think with the change would be when, you know, that is when we approve the budget, we usually then catch up with those and adjust them downwards. That's usually when that's done. I haven't seen anybody ever submit a budget come in and reducing that I can think of. There may have been some, but I'm not sure I recall anyone reducing that salary line when they that, because that's usually one of the cleanup duties the court has. Okay. Any other comments? Okay. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed to the motion, same sign. Aye. Motion carries 4-1. Thank you all very much. Yep. Item number 4 is discuss and consider take action to appoint new members to the City County Hospital Board. We were notified 2 of the members were up for renewal, and Dr. Sale decided not to stay on the board. He said he thought at age 82 there ought to be somebody younger, maybe 75 or so. Come on. No, but he did say it was time for someone to replace him. He's done 3 terms with us. So.
And we appreciate his service.
Yes.
He's been a good fit on that board.
But Judge, I have a name that I'd like to submit to serve on the City County Hospital Board, and I'd like to submit Tim Cornelius.
Okay.
Good name.
Are there any other names to be considered before the second on that? Any others to be brought up?
And
Okay.
Tim is willing to serve.
Well, and it has history there. His dad served on that board. So, okay, is there a second to the commissioner's motion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Motion by Commissioner Norris, second by Commissioner Preston to appoint Tim Cornelius to the City County Hospital Board. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 5 is discuss, consider, take action to approve the county treasurer's report for May 2014 and authorize commissioners and county judge to sign affidavits certifying compliance with section 114.026, parentheses C, for May of 2014. Mr. Hampton is present here.
Gentlemen of the court, sort of my favorite lady in the whole wide world.
You know, it is budget time, isn't it? Yeah.
Just cause I
I
invited
think
you.
you've got a list of numbers in front of you. If you to respond to them, as I have done in the past. The trailing 12 months, we are at this point in time 2% ahead, bottom line wise, than we were this time last year in July, which I was at Gettysburg. So
Ahead meaning we spent less or we spent more?
spent a little bit less. Actually, our income has improved because of a variety of things. I think one of the things that the tax office is we're bringing in a lot more delinquent monies. And there's some other things going on.
Good. That's good.
Okay. Could I have a motion then to accept the report and authorize the court to sign that affidavit?
I'll make a motion that we accept the county treasurer's report from May 2014 and authorize the judge and commissioners to sign same.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Mahler, second by Commissioner Norris to approve the report and authorize the court to sign the affidavit. Mr. Hampton, thanks for the report. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We're down to public comments. Anyone in the audience have anything to bring up? Sheriff, I think you got a copy of it. We did receive the notice, letter from Electra
I haven't received my copy, but I had first-hand knowledge of it coming. Saturday was 25 days left before the ending of the contract, and we had an incident over there where an individual decided he needed to take the gun away from the deputy, try to kill him. It didn't work out so well on his end, but that investigation's about wrapped up. We do have that with the Texas Rangers and the District Attorney's Office. I called both entities over there to assist in their investigation, to have an outside, non-partial investigation to go on as well. But yes, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Good. Okay, good.
And hopefully it's not a train.
Okay. Anyone else in the audience have anything to bring up and share with us? Okay, commissioners, do y'all have anything? Must have been a fairly quiet weekend other than Electra and a small incident in Wichita Falls, but
Good chance for rain and
Good
cooler
chance.
weather. That's always good.
yes, yes. So, all right. We do have, then we will go into budget session. Do you all have any chairs, or we need a short recess?
You're going to do the closed session?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we probably will. I
And
didn't
then
see
the
Meredith.
budget session.
She's not here.
Ms. Shelton, are you going to handle the closed session?
I'm texting my chief civil right now. as we speak.
Yeah, okay. All right. It's not that we don't think you could do it, but she's probably more up to date on it. Okay. Let's do this. We'll go ahead and give her a chance to get here. We'll recess. I'd ask to clear the courtroom other than those people involved in the closed session. I know some of y'all are here for the budget stuff. This will probably take about 15 minutes and do that. So it is 10:37, and we will recess to go into closed session in accordance with briefing with counsel.